Two of the four Americans killed in Benghazi, Libya, are now suing Hillary Clinton. Sean Smith and Tyrone Woods died in that attack on our facilities there nearly 4 years ago. Now, in their wrongful death lawsuit against the former Secretary of State, the men's parents accuse her of extreme carelessness in handling confidential and classified information, especially pointing to her use of a private email server. Let's take it up with our legal panel today. Lise Wheel is a Fox News legal analyst. Bob Bianchi is a criminal defense attorney, former head county prosecutor, and trial attorney. So very well qualified to take up this case. What do you think about what the parents are alleging here, Lise?
Well, obviously, as sorry as I feel for the parents, as badly as I feel for the parents, as another parent, as a mom, and as a human being, I really don't think they have much chance to prevail in this lawsuit, and there's a couple of reasons. First of all, Hillary Clinton has qualified immunity as a government official because they're suing her in the capacity as Secretary of State, so they can't really get past that. Assuming they could get past the qualified immunity as a government official, then they're looking at, proximate cause for a wrongful death. So what that means is, but for her leaking of these emails, would these events have happened? That's really a stretch to say. If these emails hadn't been leaked, this all wouldn't have happened. Really, can you say that just because those emails were leaked, those are things, the causal connection there? That's really going to be tough for them to prove.
Yeah, the leak that we know of came after, well after these men were dead. Essentially, they're saying that Hillary Clinton's private email server was a factor in their deaths, right?
Yeah, John, I agree with Lise completely on this. And here's the thing. I know the viewership may not enjoy listening to this, but this is not a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. This is a legal issue. And government officials are protected in the immunities that Lise is talking about under the law so that they're allowed to operate without the fear of civil liability being attached to them. Because sometimes, and I was a government official for many years, we make thousands of decisions and some of them don't turn out right. So the fact that, as Lise had indicated, that there may be an email and it may have leaked out and it may have caused this. There is so much causation. There has to be foreseeable results to any case that's ever brought. You're never going to be able to prove that in this case. This case is going to not only get thrown out, it's going to get thrown out very quickly because government officials, whether it's Clinton or President Bush during the 9/11 scenario, are entitled to this immunity that Lise talks about.
So a president, as commander-in-chief, sends soldiers, Marines to war. Some of them die.
Right.
You can't sue the president for that kind of thing. That's what we're talking about.
Right, exactly. Even if the president makes mistakes. And that's what the qualified immunity is about. Now, qualified, yes, you can in some cases pierce that qualification if it's just outrageous and reckless and all of that. And that's why I'm saying, but even if you get past that qualified immunity, you still have these other issues. Now, they're also suing for defamation. So let's talk about that for a second and some of the comments that Hillary Clinton's made about, after the attack. When you get to defamation, then you have to get to actual malice. She said these things, with actual malice. Boy, that's the toughest standard in the legal standard. We're just talking legal here, not political. Legal. You get to that actual malice standard. She got to go out and prove that she intended to, to say these things. That she knew they were wrong. And she said these with actual, that they were a lie. And the real brunt of it is that these are opinions, not facts.
Yeah. Well, let me read from the filing. They are accusing Mrs. Clinton of, quote, false and defamatory statements negligently, recklessly, and purposefully or intentionally with malice in her public comments, especially when she tied the attack, suggested that the attack was the result of a YouTube video. No legal grounds there?
Absolutely not. And here's the thing that people have to understand. From a legal point of view, not a political point of view, whether it's Democrat or Republican, we have a First Amendment that is jealously guarded in this country to give your opinions and to forcefully advocate for them, even if it may be wrong factually. Here she gave opinion. But more importantly, Lisa, I think in this particular case, is that these families have placed themselves into the public sphere. And under the law, once you make something public, you are allowed to, you're subjecting yourself to even greater critique and more protection under the law if people attack you afterwards. That you being a private citizen, that may be a different story. This case, again, will be thrown out before it gets anywhere near a jury.
But you can understand the frustration.
Oh,
I mean, these parents have lost their sons.
Yes, that's why I started off my comments by saying, I'm sure, Bobby, you would agree. We feel as parents ourselves, of course, and then they're trying to go to the court to get some reprieve and to say to Mrs. Clinton, wait a second, what you did was wrong here. I think we agree that there's some frustration, but I think what Bob and I are both saying is, from a legal point of view, this case really has no legs.
And I'll tell you something where the courts are going to be very concerned about. First of all, I have an issue as to whether it was filed within the appropriate statute of limitations. That's on the wrongful death claim, which is a 2-year statute from a place where you reasonably know. The second thing is the defamation claim coming during the election season. You can be assured that the Department of Justice attorneys and those that are representing the Clintons are going to be saying that this is merely for political reasons, not for legal reasons. Otherwise, why after 9 investigations had this lawsuit not been brought earlier? And federal judges hate having cases that deal with political motivation as opposed to legal principles.
Sean Smith's mother, in particular, has been an outspoken supporter of Donald Trump. All right, Bob Bianchi, Lee Sweal, thank you both.
Thank you, John.
Jenna.